Welcome to the Private and Public School F1 Exchange Mental Health Training for Local Coordinators. This training is designed to help local coordinators understand how to identify and address potential student mental health issues and trends. We will cover how to identify indicators, approach various situations, and provide support to both students and host families in these situations. Let's get started. Here is a list of topics that we will cover in this training. Press the pause button to review the topics presented, and then press play to resume the training. As we know, exchange students are susceptible to a higher level of stress due to many factors, including communicating in a new language, engaging in unfamiliar surroundings and with new family, teachers, and peers, difficulty adjusting to a new culture, receiving pressure from natural parents to perform well, and not meeting personal expectations in regard to academic performance, language acquisition, grades, and making friends. We will explore these factors and more later in this training. In the PSE Local Coordinator 2 training, we discussed the student adjustment cycle, which is the typical pattern of adjustment that most students experience in a cultural exchange and homestay situation. It is important to be aware of the behaviors that your students are exhibiting. It can be difficult to ascertain if your student is experiencing normal changes due to the adjustment period or if the issue is more concerning. Our goal is to help you identify certain behaviors that may indicate a reason to be concerned. Please keep in mind that we see only a small number of mental health cases each year. However, it is important to identify indicators early so that we can address the situation immediately and prevent it from getting worse. Prevention is key. In the student application, we do inquire about prior mental health issues. However, sometimes this information is not disclosed. If a student reveals a past issue at the time of application, we conduct a thorough review and assessment and consider acceptance on a case-by-case basis. If the student is accepted, we make sure that we have all information necessary to provide to the host family. We need to rely on everyone, the host family, local coordinator, and school personnel, to be aware, observant, and communicate any concerns as they arise. Again, it is imperative to identify concerning behaviors and monitor situations to prevent them from escalating. As the local coordinator, here are some suggestions for you to facilitate communication and uncover potential issues. Listen for any potential issues or concerns during your monthly check-ins. Ask follow-up questions to uncover additional information. If you feel it is necessary, check in with the school counselor or other school personnel to see if they have noticed any concerning behaviors or habits formed at school. As an example, if a host parent reports a concern such as, "My student won't stop crying," it is important for everyone to monitor the behavior closely and communicate any concerns to you, the local coordinator. Remember, communication is key. In general, if a student is experiencing a disruption in their life, for example, suffering school attendance or performance, lack of carrying out daily activities, or lack of engagement in satisfying relationships, then this could indicate a concern. Here are some specific behaviors or warning signs that the host family, local coordinator, and school personnel should look out for. Isolation or withdrawal from family, friends, or school. Poor personal hygiene. Being overly tired, inability to concentrate, lack of motivation, loss of interest in something that would normally be appealing, like a hobby or sport, weight loss, mood swings, showing acts of random aggression, pleas for help, for example, joking about harming themselves, displaying odd or unusual behavior, such as using pillows to create a nest in the closet, being reluctant to share information. If your student exhibits any behavior that is concerning, do not ignore it or think that it'll just go away. Remember that prevention is key. Events can occur in a student's life which could increase the likelihood of a mental health issue. These are called risk factors. Please keep in mind that this does not mean that if a student has one or even several risk factors, this person will have a mental health issue. These are simply additional risk factors that we should be aware of when working with our students. Here are some risk factors to consider. Learning after the student is on the program that they had suffered prior physical or mental health issues that were not previously disclosed to PSE. Underperformance at school. Many students deal with pressure from natural parents to achieve good grades in school. Cultural immersion. Students may struggle acclimating to American culture and norms. Low English proficiency. Students may have difficulty expressing themselves. Concerns about appearance. Some cultures have expectations regarding appearance and beauty, including a standard for weight. Adapting to an American diet can be challenging for some students. Unrealistic expectations. Many students assume that they will be popular and everyone will be their friends. However, especially in larger schools, making friends can be challenging as friend units are already established. As a result, students may feel unwelcomed and isolated. Unrealistic expectations regarding academic performance and grades can also lead to an increase of stress and feelings of incompetence that can lead to mental health struggles. A student may also be experiencing issues related to life and relationships in their home country that we may not be aware of. They might also feel disconnected from loved ones and alone. As a result, these feelings could negatively affect or disrupt the student's regular activities such as sleeping and eating. Here are some examples of personal issues that a student may be experiencing. A family member or friend back home is ill, is undergoing a serious surgery or hospitalization, or unexpectedly passes away. The student loses friendships in their home country, such as friends losing interest or moving on while the student is away. Or perhaps the student was involved in a traumatic event prior to attending the PSE program. When reporting a concern, the procedure is simple but also very critical. Please remember that it is essential to be proactive with providing information. We need to learn about situations and concerns as they arise, not after the fact. To adequately support the student, it's important to address the issue immediately. Now, we will discuss what steps to take when a concern arises. As a local coordinator, if your student is experiencing a crisis, report it immediately by calling the PSE 24-hour emergency number at 877-222-9803. If you have any suspicions that your student's mental, emotional, and/or physical health is in jeopardy, inform your field manager or regional manager immediately. They can provide you with further guidance and suggestions. Next, talk with your student to identify any underlying concerns. Then, email a detailed summary of the conversation to PSE. If necessary, have your field manager or regional manager speak with them. Collectively, your FM or RM, PSE, possibly the school, and you as the LC will decide the best approach to resolving the issue. PSE will contact the sending agency and provide them with information about how we can help. PSE will remain in contact with them about the issue and the plan of action. You will then contact the school, let them know what's happening, and ask them if they have noticed any concerning behaviors. Ask them if there is a school counselor available to meet with the student. You may also work with a local clinic. If necessary, PSE will request that you take your student for an evaluation. Monitor the situation and communicate any changes to your field manager or regional manager. The written communication in the monthly contact form is also very important. It is critical that you summarize any issues in the form and that they are documented properly. Please utilize the following guidelines when documenting the information. I'll also provide you with some examples. First, be objective and stay neutral. For example, do not write, "I feel strongly that the student is on the verge of having a mental breakdown." Instead, write, "According to her host mother, Sarah appears sad even in joyous situations, such as when participating in family games." Also, avoid interjecting any personal viewpoints or assumptions. For example, Do not write, "My own daughter went through a similar situation, and I believe." Instead, write, "Based on Cindy's behavior, we are concerned and watching the situation closely to determine if additional support is needed." Make sure to state facts, not opinions. For example, do not write, "I believe that the student is just going through a stage." Instead, write, "The student shared with me that she no longer finds music appealing to her." Also, do not diagnose the student. As an example, do not write, "The student seems like she has depression and a possible anxiety disorder." Instead, write, "The student seems a bit sad and has said to her host mother that she feels anxious at times." In addition, please remember to always indicate a team approach. Avoid using I statements, such as, "I am working to find a solution." Instead, include we statements, such as, "We are working together to find a resolution," or "We are implementing the following measures." We always want to set a precedent that we utilize a team approach when supporting our students. As a final note, if the situation is not improving or if there are serious concerns, it is acceptable for you or the host family to indicate that on the form. At this point, please contact your field or regional manager rather than waiting to submit the report. Remember, being proactive is key. When communicating with your student, it is important to ensure that they feel safe and comfortable when sharing information. Here are some great tips on how to communicate effectively while providing a safe environment. Be genuine and sincere. Show empathy and support. You can do this by using I statements. For example, by saying, "I've noticed that you've stopped all of your after-school activities," or by asking, "How can I help you?" Give time for silence. Sometimes young people are trying to find the words to express what they're feeling. Give them time and don't interrupt a silent moment. Try different settings to see what works best. For example, go out for coffee or a snack, or communicating while washing dishes or going for a walk. Typically, activities that don't require much eye contact allow the student to share information comfortably. Also, don't compare their life with yours at their age. For example, don't tell them that your life was harder or that their life is easier. Do not trivialize their feelings. Students need to be validated and know that their feelings are real and important. Do not ask them to explain or justify their behavior. In other words, don't ask them why they did something. Asking them why they did something will only put them on the defensive and will most likely cause them to shut down communication with you. Be aware of your body language and theirs. Having your arms crossed, hands on your hips, or towering over them while communicating will only put them on the defensive. Rather, keep your voice calm and low. Appear relaxed. Sit alongside them, not directly in front of them, and keep your palms open. Regardless of their body language, always keep yours comfortable and relaxed. Help them find the language that they're looking for. Often, students will just shrug off their feelings and not express their emotions. Help them find the emotional language by offering options. For example, ask them, "It appears that you're not happy. How are you feeling?" In addition, you might need to help them find the English words that describe how they're feeling. When speaking with the student, please follow these suggestions. First, evaluate the level of concern. It may not be a crisis situation, so probe for more information by asking things like, "Tell me more about that. What happened after that? How did that make you feel?" Then discuss their feelings. Listen without judgment and provide empathetic statements like, "I can understand how that would make you feel sad. I can see how that would cause you to feel frustrated." Then, reassure and provide emotional support without giving advice. Say phrases like, "You are not alone. When you're ready to talk, I'll be here to listen. We are here to support you. What can I do to help you right now?" As I mentioned earlier, PSE may suggest that the student is evaluated by a mental health specialist. If a student is joking about harming themselves, has continued to display unusual behavior, Or if there's a concerning event, PSE or the school may request that the student undergo a mental health evaluation. A crisis treatment center is a good option, but if an evaluation needs to be completed immediately, the student can go to an emergency room. Depending on the results of the evaluation, the student may be released to their host family or local coordinator. However, if the hospital determines the student to be a danger to themselves or others, the student may be admitted for treatment. A natural parent may also be asked to arrive, depending on the situation. Be sure to involve the PSC office, and please ensure that the PSC 24-hour emergency number 877-222-9803 is programmed into your phone. If a host family is not comfortable continuing to host the student after an evaluation, inform your field manager or regional manager to assist with options. Finding resources for your student does not have to be challenging. Here are some ideas for locating available resources. Call the number on the student's insurance card to ask for recommendations. Utilize information provided by the school. Some schools partner with counseling clinics in the area, and they're usually a good place to start when searching for a counselor. If the student does not want the school to know that they're having issues, you can utilize the PSC Insurance web link at aetna.globalexcel.com to find doctors or mental health specialists nearby. Please remember that this may change annually if the insurance changes payers. Also, you may begin your search by Googling counselors in cities. For example, type in counselors in Portland to conduct a search in that area. Sometimes counseling is deemed to be a viable solution. Here are some benefits of counseling. Counseling provides the student with the ability to openly talk to someone in a safe, non-judgmental, and respectful environment. Here, the student will learn tools and techniques designed to help them cope with issues. They will also discover how to make better decisions. In some cases, virtual counseling is available and can provide additional benefits, such as offering a wider range of professionals from different cultural and language backgrounds, providing a more receptive option for students because they're not in a face-to-face environment and it is more anonymous. Virtual counseling also offers an ease and convenience of appointments, as no transportation is necessary. PSE Insurance does offer mental health benefits, such as coverage for student mental health evaluations and therapy. For outpatient coverage, PSE Insurance covers 80% up to $5,000. The student covers 20%. For inpatient coverage, which is for more extreme issues, PSE Insurance covers 80% up to $10,000, up to a maximum of 40 days. The student covers 20%. Realistically, at this level, the student would probably need to be sent home to get the support that they need. Now, let's review some best practices that have been proven to work in the field. First, it's important to match the student with the right support system. For example, students who have a lower English proficiency level would benefit from working with someone, for example a counselor, who speaks the same language as the student. It's true that young people may have difficulty talking openly with an adult who's from a different culture than their own. It's also important to understand and know the cultural background of your student and what makes them unique. However, it's equally important to not generalize about a young person's needs based solely on their cultural background. Ask questions about what they're feeling and experiencing as opposed to what they're doing incorrectly. It's more important to make the young person feel respected, cared for, and comfortable. Listen carefully and build trust with the student from the start. Build a relationship with the school from the start. Reassure the student that we're here to support them. Support the host family. For example, having a student who suffers from depression creates challenges. Alert the FM or RM immediately if there are concerns. Know the available local resources. Please remember that our focus is taking a partnership approach when handling situations, and this message needs to be effectively communicated on the monthly contact forms. Now, we're going to pose several scenarios that you might encounter with a student. Think about how you would handle the following situations. Your student, Mariana, is usually very happy and content. Her host family reports that she seems to be more emotional than usual. She cries often and doesn't want to partake in family activities that she previously enjoyed. What steps would you take? Here are the steps to take. First, have a one-on-one meeting with Mariana. Encourage her to talk about her feelings. Use language to let Mariana know that you're there to support her. Ask probing questions to gain information. Make sure to always inform your regional manager or field manager about the situation. Also, be sure to document in your monthly report when you met with Mariana, what was discussed, and what steps will be taken to support her using a teamwork approach. Remember to stay neutral and report on facts, not opinions. Your student, Jacob, is usually very outgoing and personable. His host family reports that he is isolating himself in his room. When he comes home from school, he goes straight to his room and wants to spend most of his time there. What steps would you take in this situation? Here are the steps to take. First, have a one-on-one meeting with the host family. Gather all details, including if Jacob is having meals with the family, how often he comes out of the bedroom, if he's showering and changing his clothes regularly. This information will help to determine if Jacob is exhibiting normal teenage behavior or if there is an underlying issue. Meet with Jacob and encourage him to talk about his feelings. Use language to let Jacob know that you're there to support him. Ask probing questions to gain information. Make sure to always inform your RM or FM about the situation. Also, be sure to document in your monthly report when you met with Jacob, what was discussed, and what plan of action will be taken to support him using a teamwork approach. Remember to stay neutral and report on facts, not opinions. Your student Ethan reaches out to you and asks for help. He tells you that he would like to talk to a counselor. His English proficiency level is low. What steps would you take in this situation? Here are the steps to take. First, contact your regional manager or field manager immediately to let them know about the situation. Also, inform the host family of Ethan's request and, if necessary, meet with them to gain additional information. You or the host family should call the phone number on the student's insurance card or go to the website listed and find a local counselor. Remember to match the student with the appropriate support system. For example, since Ethan has a lower English proficiency level, he would benefit from working with someone who speaks the same language. Also, discover whether a face-to-face or virtual counseling environment would be most beneficial for Ethan. Also, be sure to document in your monthly report when you met with Ethan, what was discussed, and what plan of action will be taken to support him using a teamwork approach. Remember to stay neutral and report on facts, not opinions. The Resources section of ZAP houses many valuable resources available to students, host families, and local coordinators. Here are some resources that you can utilize and share with your students and host families. For the student, Culture Shock and Homesickness, How to Create a Healthy Life and Study Balance, Nutrition and Health. For the host family, Detecting the Signs of Anorexia, Detecting the Signs of Bulimia, Detecting the Signs of Depression, Helping your student cope with loss, Cultural Adjustment Tips for Host Families, Understanding and Communicating with Teens. For the local coordinator, How to Build Relationships with Students. This concludes the PSE Mental Health Training for local coordinators. If you have any questions, contact your regional manager or the PSE office. Again, thank you for all that you do as a PSE local coordinator. We appreciate you.